have a legal thing. The President of the United States of America is suing the Dow Jones, the Wall Street Journal, News Corporation, which I think is NBC, Keith Rupert Murdoch, who is the owner of Fox, if I remember correctly, Robert Thompson. I imagine News Corporation is Fox News, then, if not NBC. Robert Thompson, I don't know who that is. Kadiha Safdar, which is baffling that someone named Kadiha Safdar is even in this country. And then Joseph Palozzolo. Palozzolo is like perhaps the least trustworthy name I've ever heard in my entire life. I'm immediately reminded of the demon from the show where the little girl vomits pea soup, The Exorcist. His name is Pazuzu. That's the name of the demon. It's like a real demon name. Unfortunately for the movie, it sounded very silly. So to talk about Pazuzu is like a really bad idea because even though it is like a real mythological creature, it is also the silly sounding name. It's like a mixture between Pazuzu the demon and like paparazzi. You get like Palozzolo, and it sounds like a mafioso name. So Joseph Palozzolo, I would never trust this man, is what I'm saying. He sounds like a mixture between the paparazzi, Pazuzu, and some kind of mafioso. Somehow, still a more trustworthy name than Khadija Safdar. I don't know how that happens. Anyways, Trump is suing for defamation, I believe. And he's suing, I think, for $11 billion. I believe that's correct. Falsely accusing that he authored, drew, and signed a card to the late and utterly disgraced Jeffrey Epstein. So I read that on stream. Trump is not only saying that it is fake, he's saying it is a knowing and malicious fabrication on behalf of the publications to enrich themselves at his expense, and so he seeks $11 billion. I think he's filed this in the Southern District of Florida. Southern District of Florida in Miami Division. Hey, there's a real chance that the President of the United States will be sitting in the waiting room right next to Stephen Bonnell. That's a possibility. They could just be chilling together. That would be a fun interaction. Do you think Destiny would have anything to say to the President of the United States? I'm trying to think. My first thought has something to do with revenge pornography and fucking around with women. He's like, hey, you got any tips for importing somebody from Slovenia? You got any tips for Mr. President? Something like that. He'd flip. You think, well, like flip out like a monkey? I think he would flip over a table and make a gorilla nest? What are we talking about here with him flipping? I think he would be way nicer. He wouldn't try to press the president while waiting for court. Maybe he tried to get his in. He's like, look, I'm like a podcaster and I do like these podcasts that are really popular. And like, if you can get me like in to like real politics, I'll like suck your dick. I'll get the Cheeto dust on my lips and shit, bro, just for you, bro. He'll try to like strike a deal. Like I want an in. What do you think? If he got appointed to something, what do you think Bonnell could do? I'm trying to think. Does he have any like strong points? He's really short. Like, I associate certain people with things they actually care about, like Jim Sterling. I still associate him with somebody who really cares about consumer rights. That technology connections guy, he cares about like consumer safety and shit. You could put him in the FTC somewhere. He'd probably do a good job, actually. Secretary of Carpet Cleaning, that's a good one. He could be the head custodial staff at the White House. Yeah, that works. Like, bro, I just want to vacuum the carpets at the White House and tell people I'm really important and I work at the White House. He could do that. That's a good idea. Chief dick sucker. That's like a legal mindset thing. Legal dick sucker, more like it. Next, Jerome Powell has been referred to by the House, specifically as single representative, to the Department of Justice for perjury. The interesting thing, and this is my conspiracy theory, okay? Trump has made many, many blasted tweets at Jerome Powell. In case you don't know, right now, the interest rate of the Federal Reserve is at a pretty historic high. I want to say it's like 6 to 7%. And that's really significant because it increases the rate at which banks pull money from the Federal Reserve. So in the United States, money does not exist. So when a bank creates a mortgage and it gives a mortgage to a lender, it doesn't actually have that money. It asks the government to print that money to give it to you. And that's why the bank actually pays the Federal Reserve back some of its money. They take a little bit themselves for handling the mortgage, but that money is basically just fake and comes out of nowhere. Oh yeah, that's right. I need a hamster for this, don't I? So the Federal Reserve sets the rate, and that is the job of the chairman, Jerome Powell, and his committee. It's a complicated process. The gist is that the Federal Reserve is a private public cooperation. They have like 7 board members, I want to say. 4 are appointed by the government, 3 are private. There's like 1 from JP Morgan Chase. So it's literally like a bank that's owned by the banks and then also by the government, with the government owning a majority share. Um, and that's why people say that the Federal Reserve is an unconstitutional system, because it is like this weird hybrid. So they get together and they set the rate. And the reason why they do this is because it combats inflation. Imagine this, right? Imagine you go to the IRS after tax season and you pay your taxes with cash money. In this world where we pay our taxes with cash money, which you can't do anymore, by the way, if you try to pay your taxes with cash, they actually charge you extra for wasting their fucking time. In this world, what would they do with the cash? They would burn it. They would take out a giant bonfire and burn your fucking money. That's what they would do if you paid your taxes in cash. Because taxes are not actually, you would imagine, if you were naive, that tax money would go into a bank account, and then that would be how the government spends money, from this bank account. That's not how it works. The government spends money from an infinite purse. That's the Federal Reserve that prints money, the same as how they print your mortgage. And when you pay taxes, they burn it. And that's a deflationary thing to keep the amount of money in the world from spiraling out of control. So the only reason why they tax you is to burn your fucking money. Conversely, with interest rates, when you pay your mortgage back and you have a high interest rate, that money from the interest rate goes into the cash fire. And so do tariffs. All the money from tariffs go into the cash fire. So that's why they do this. They do it to keep inflation from spiraling out of control. Jerome Powell, since the end of COVID, has kept interest rates very high, which is good technically for the economy. And to round back, my schizo conspiracy theory is that Trump actually likes this, but can't say that because it hurts people. I will not be in the market for a house anytime soon, so I don't have to give a shit. But if you are in the market for a house, you're probably pulling your fucking hair out and contemplating suicide or some other violent crime, right? And that's because, here, let's look at this actually. Here's NPR. NPR recently was defunded for 1.1 billion taxpayer dollars, and they deserve to be completely defunded because they write shit like this. Somebody named Obed Manuel. Let's just take a look at Obed. I want to see this guy's face, and I want to ask, why the fuck is he in my country? Like, look at this guy. Why is he in my country? Why is he in my country taking taxpayer dollars to write shit like this? Trump says cutting interest rates will make home buying cheaper. It's not that simple. This guy is a dumb fuck. He's a fucking retard. He should never be allowed to write anything, never mind at taxpayer expense. Let's just do this thing real quick, right? I think I can just go to Google and type in mortgage calculator. And let me find one more thing. 2024 average U.S. home income. 70, really? 77 is the median? I didn't say median, motherfucker. I said average. Okay, I'll just do 75. That's a nice round number, okay? So here we have a mortgage calculator. And we're going to do 30-year loan. Actually, let's do this. What can I afford? We'll do the opposite. The affordability calculator. Okay. One second. Okay. So we'll do household. Oh, it's already got this set up right. So annual income, and we'll say you have no debt, which is unreasonable. And we'll set the down payment at $0 to make this easy. So if you have an annual income of $70,000 with no down payment, you can afford up to $240,000. And that's at a 7% interest rate. If the interest rate was 1%, you could afford a $400,000 house. So to give you an idea of this fucking idiot, Obed Manuel is telling you to your fucking face, my good sir, if the interest rate goes down, that does not necessarily mean that you can buy more of a house. Actually, motherfucker, if the interest rate was cut down to 1%, you could afford almost 50% more fucking house than you could before. So that's why people want the interest rate to go down. And where am I getting? Oh, okay. My theory is that Trump is actually okay with them doing this as long as he gets to complain about it, because it is better for the economy. It reduces inflation, and most people can't ever afford to buy a house. Like, we're not talking about this, okay? We're talking about the difference between 238 and 400,000. We're talking about like 35. Like, you'll never ever, because if you are making $35,000 a year, you'll never find a house for $114,000. You might find a trailer that's 20 years old in rural Kentucky, if you're lucky. But you're basically not ever going to find a house for this price at this point in time. So he knows that. And what he's saying is, look, it's better for the actual consumer pricing of household objects if the inflation rate goes down. So Mr. Powell continued to burn that money. And then people will complain, I can't buy a house even in rural Kentucky. So he says, look, I'll complain about you in public, but you just got to keep burning that fucking money, okay? I think that's my schizo conspiracy theory. That's my thought. Anyways, good luck if you're trying to buy a fucking house. The rent cucks will inherit the world after we eat the rich and the landlords. There's a house near you for $70,000. What? Where do you live? Dox yourself. Identify yourself. Can I find a house for $70,000? Just out of curiosity. Okay. Maximum price. I'll do 80,000 right here. So you're gonna find, okay, I don't want a fucking condo. I want a house. That says $5,000. That's a fucking lie. That's a fucking auction. They lie. Look at this, 666 result for under 80,000, and it's all gonna be like fucking fake auctions. Yeah, We're gonna set a minimum price of 50,000 here, because you know what? That's fucking bullshit. Actually, let's set it at 10 so we can get really shitty houses as well. I'm gonna take over Nick Rochefort's thing, and I'm going to start reviewing the Zillow listings. 12,000 in Fort Meade. This has to be a trailer and a retirement home. Yeah, that's a trailer. It's a manufactured. What is this? Yeah, that's a trailer. Okay, here we go. You can get this dilapidated trailer in a retirement home if you really want it. But I like explicitly put out no manufactured homes. This is a lot in a marina. You can buy this. You can for $12,000. You can buy this deck in a marina. Yeah, Zillow's shit. They need to do something about all the fucking fake listings that are on this. Like, I specifically did not say I wanted manufactured homes. And they're still showing me manufactured homes and empty lots and decks on a marina. $35,000 for a deck on a marina. Okay. More manufactured homes. If you want a trailer, you might be able to find one in Florida in a swamp somewhere, but you will not find a house.
Thank you for watching this clip. This is the CACA Loaf. Remember to like and subscribe.